reconciliation is one of the most important steps in your monthly and annual closing of your accounts. And if it is done correctly, it may only take you 1 hour or less than that to complete your bank reconciliation. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to do bank reconciliation in Sage 1 Accounting. Hi, I'm Sharon and this is Nuts Accounting. My passion is helping you master cloud accounting system in simple English. On this channel, there's weekly tips and tutorials on the topic of cloud accounting system and online business curated just for you. And today we are going to talk about Sage 1 Accounting. I would love to personally notify you of any new weekly tutorials or videos, and if you would like me to notify you, head on over to nutsaccounting.com/sign up to sign up for my email newsletter. Alternatively, you may also subscribe at YouTube and ring the bell to receive notifications from this channel. So let's get started. When I first started working in a prestigious accounting firm, one of the first tasks that I have been assigned to do is bank reconciliation. And at that time, I received a bank statement from my superior, and that bank statement has over 100 transactions and it's roughly around 15 to 20 pages long. When I look at the bank statement, I felt so overwhelmed, like I need to do this much of bank statements reconciliation? Really? That's a lot. So to cut the long story short, I spent a few hours on it and I'm so happy that I finally finished my bank reconciliation. I thought I finished it, but when I look at the bank statement closing balance of the bank statement, it does not tally with my Sage 1 bank reconciliation balance. So to cut the long story short, I have to reset and redo the whole thing to find out what went wrong, and this time do it carefully and cautiously, and I spent 8 hours in total to do one bank reconciliation. So that is a very huge time waster, and I do not want you to repeat the same mistake as I did. So after that experience and numerous of other bank reconciliation experience, I've learned it the hard way on how to do bank reconciliation the correct way. And now I'm able to complete my bank reconciliation in 1 hour or less. So if you would like to do your bank reconciliation in 1 hour or less, stay with me and I will guide you step by step on how to do this. So if you would like to complete your bank reconciliation in 1 hour or less, comment bank recon below. And if you would like to master Sage 1 Accounting and use it like a pro, stay tuned until the end of this video to grab my free guide, which is 10 tips on customer invoices page in Sage 1 Accounting. This free guide can really help you to master customer invoices page, which is one of the most used page in Sage 1 Accounting. So remember, stay tuned until the end of this video to grab your free copy. So the first step to do your bank reconciliation is the step of preparation. You would need to get everything that you need, prepare everything that you need so that it is easy for you rather than fumbling around to search for your bank statement. So the things that you need is, of course, your bank statement, and also you need to ensure that all the bank transactions that you need to record it into Sage 1 Accounting. Well, of course, sometimes there are certain bank transactions that you do not know about it, such as bank charges from the banks or any any unknown stuff that comes up in your bank statements, then those are not considered under your preparation. Your preparation are those transactions that you know that is found in your bank statement, that you know that will happen in your bank statement, such as your such as your supplier payments, the payments that you made to your supplier. Those are the transactions that you know because you are the one that issued the payment to your supplier. So you would need to record those kind of known transactions into your Stage 1 before you start doing your bank reconciliation. And step 2, you would need to log into your Stage 1 accounting, log in, and at the top bar you will see this menu bar at the top. Hold on. Okay, you will see this menu bar at the top, and hover your mouse over to banking and hover your mouse to transactions, and then click on reconcile bank and credit cards. This is where you will access the bank reconciliation page in Stage 1 accounting. Step 3. This is the Stage 1 bank reconciliation page. Once you click on the reconcile bank and credit cards just now, then your page will automatically load to this bank reconciliation page. In this page, you will need to select your bank account, the bank that you would like to do your bank reconciliation, which is the one that you have your bank statement. And then you will need to fill in your from date and your to date. Here there is a little explanation that I would need to do. The from date, I would suggest that you, how to fill in your from date, you will need to take out your last bank reconciliation report, look at the unreconciled transactions, and in your unreconciled transactions, identify which is the oldest transaction date. So let's say, for example, right now I am trying to do the bank reconciliation for my January bank statement. My January bank statement dates from 1st until 31st of January 2019. In my last bank reconciliation report, which is the bank recon for December, in this December bank reconciliation report, my oldest transaction which are unreconciled is, let's say, 15th of November. So as I have identified that the oldest date of my unreconciled transactions is 15th of November 2018, I will fill in the from date with 1st of November 2018. So I personally like to choose the 1st of the month as the date, but it is totally up to you. You can fill in 15th of November 2018, which is exactly the same as your unreconciled transaction, or you may also fill in as 1st of January 2010, let's say. So you can also fill in this huge gap of years, just to ensure that all of the unreconciled transactions in the system will appear in your bank reconciliation page. And so the next one will be your to date. My to date is 31st of January, which is in accordance with my bank statement closing date. And the third one, you would need to fill in your statement balance with the closing balance that you find in your bank statement. So here's a little tip for you. Before you start, you will need to ensure that you have a good start, that you have everything in a line first before you start moving forward. So what I would usually do is I would ensure that my reconciled previously there, that particular field is the same as per my opening balance of my bank statement. I would need to ensure that these two is exactly the same before I start doing my bank reconciliation. This is to ensure that there is no differences before we start, or else if you start with some differences, you wouldn't be able to know where are the differences later on when you have done a lot of things. Then you have to rewind and redo and reset everything. So ensure that your reconcile previously is exactly the same as per your opening balance before you proceed. Step 4. You would need to, now that you have already checked your opening balance is correct, the next step, of course, is to check your transactions. You would you look at your Stage 1 bank reconciliation page here, and you will notice there's a lot of transactions here listed in the middle of the page. Once you find the transaction in your bank statement, it appears in your bank statement, just click on the check boxes under the column of reconciled. Then all these transactions will be considered reconciled once it has a tick on it. Okay, here's another tip for you. This tip is you must follow one master list only. So what do I mean by list, or what do I mean by master list or one master list, right? Yeah, it's a little confusing, but bear with me. I'm going to explain to you right now. There are two lists involved when you do your bank reconciliation. The first list, of course, is your bank statements that you have on hand, and the second list is your Stage 1 transactions listing. So these two lists, you have these two lists here. Okay, what happens is, I personally am guilty of this in my early years. When I do my bank reconciliation, I will look at my bank statement. I will look at all the transactions in my bank statement. And then as I check all the transactions in the Stage 1 transaction here, this is my Stage 1 transaction, this is my bank statement. As I check the Stage 1 transactions, I will start to notice that, oh, the next transaction listed in the Stage 1 transaction appears in my bank statement probably another 10 rows beneath what I'm currently doing right now. Then I will just check it off because I found it already, right? And then I come back to my bank statement, and then I move along again, and the same thing happens, and sometimes it might not be on the same page. It's on the next page or the following page. So as you go back and forth like this, following two different listings, it easily confuses you. It's in the end, I'm looking at my bank statement and I'm looking at my Stage 1 transaction. I do not know which one I've already checked off and where am I right now. I've got lost and confused when I follow back and forth bank statement and the Stage 1 transactions back and forth like this. So what my conclusion is to use only one master list and choose your bank statement as your master list. At the end of the day, you would need to reconcile your Stage 1 transactions in accordance to your bank statement, because bank statement is a final version that your bank sent to you. It's the final version from your bank, the copy from your bank. You cannot change this. You can only change your Stage 1 transactions. So I would follow my bank statement listing as my master list. And no matter, just like the example just now that I've told you, even if I saw the next transaction or the next transaction is already found in the bank statement and I saw it already, I ignore it and I follow along my bank statement transactions. I just follow along the bank statement transactions and everything will be correct. Okay, the next step is step 5. Once you have already once you start checking all of your transactions in your Stage 1 transaction listing, you will need to really focus on the reconciled total. So what do I mean by this? The reconciled total is actually the balance the reconciled balance of your current report, which is going to reflect in your bank reconciliation report, which means it's the opening balance plus or minus all the transactions that you have already checked and reconciled, and then it comes to this closing balance. So this is the real trick that you really need to pay attention to if you would like to complete your bank reconciliation in the shortest time possible. You will need to always ensure that this reconciled total is exactly the same as per your bank statement moving balance in your bank statement. As usually all bank statements will have a moving balance, which says that what is the previous balance, and then plus this particular transaction, this is your new balance. So all bank statements will have this kind of moving balance. You will need to ensure that this Stage 1 reconciled total is exactly the same as per your moving balance. And for me personally, I would usually check this after every 1 or 2 transactions that I have reconciled. Yes, I know it sounds very tedious. It's like if I have 100 transactions in my bank statement, I'm going to repeat this. Even if I do it every 2 rows, I'm going to repeat it 50 times. Yes, I know that it's going to be a little time consuming. It sounds tedious, but in actual fact, it only takes you 2 seconds, not 2 minutes, just 2 seconds for you to have a look at the statement, at the moving balance, and also your reconciled total. It's just 2 seconds to have a look at these two total, whether it match or not. But this is the real trick that will prevent you from reset and redoing the whole thing all over again and waste another few hours in doing your bank reconciliation. So once you ensure these moving balances are always the same, when you come to the end of the bank statement, it will also remain the same. Alright, so let's get back to the slide. Step 6. Once you have already once you start checking your bank reconciliation, you will notice that there are certain transactions that you can't find in your Stage 1. So if you, it appears in your bank statement, but you can't find it in your Stage 1. So what you need to do is you need to click on Save at the bottom of the page, and then you head on over to record or amend any of your transactions as necessary. And then you go back to this page and continue on your bank reconciliation. And sometimes you might see it in Stage 1, the transaction, you might see it in Stage 1, but not in your bank statement. You then would need to do a little investigation to investigate what happens to the transaction, whether you have duplication or whether it really doesn't appear there. So you will really need to do a little investigation there, because sometimes in certain scenarios, I'll just give you one example. Like customer A pays you $100 on the 1st of January. And then on the 1st of January, you recorded it $100. But then 2 days later, you suddenly remember that you haven't, you might forget that you have already recorded it, but you remember the event that customer A did pay you $100. So you went into Stage 1 accounting and record another $100 for that transaction. So now when it comes to the end of the month, you will notice that there is 2 transactions, which is a duplication of the payments from customer A. So in this kind of scenario, what you need to do is just to remove this duplicate transaction, and then you will be good to go. Step 7. Once you have already completed all of your bank reconciliation transactions, once you've gone through all of the bank statement transactions, what you need to do right now is to ensure that your reconciled total is exactly the same as per your closing balance of your bank statement. And as explained earlier in the beginning of the steps, your statement balance that you have filled in this Stage 1 bank reconciliation page here, it's exactly the same total as per your closing balance in your bank statement. So remember that these two, statement balance and reconcile total, must be the same as per your closing balance of your bank statement. And last but not least, ensure the difference beneath the reconcile total is 0. And now we have come to step 8. This is the easiest and final step of your bank reconciliation. All you need to do is just click print and your bank reconciliation in PDF format will be downloaded to your computer. It depends on which browser that you are using. For mine, I'm using Chrome browser here. So my bank reconciliation PDF file will actually download with at the bottom of the page, there's a download bar that appears and my file will be there. And once I downloaded my file, I can proceed to click Save and exit back to the dashboard. Or if you would like to continue on to reconcile another bank account, you can also click Save and New. Here is a sample of the bank reconciliation report. In this bank reconciliation report, you can see that the closing balance as per bank statement here must match the closing balance that appears in your bank statement. It must exactly match, must be the same. And of course, at the last part of your bank reconciliation report, you must ensure that the difference is 0. So this is your bank reconciliation report. And now, after 8 easy steps, you are done with your bank reconciliation in Stage 1 accounting. If you would like to master Cloud Accounting System, or if you would like to master Stage 1 accounting, and please get this free guide here, which is 10 tips on customer invoices page in Stage 1 accounting. The link to download this is nutsaccounting.com/Sage Customer Invoice. So remember to grab this free copy for yourself, and you will be able to use Stage 1 accounting better. So my question for you today is, what is the next Stage 1 tutorial that you would like to learn? So let me know in the comments below, or you can also DM me, which I can be found in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or even you can email me as well. So if you are new here, subscribe and ring the bell button to receive notifications from Nuts Accounting. And if you like this video, give me a like or share it with your friends as well. As always, Nuts Accounting is here to help you master Cloud Accounting System and grow your online business. If you want to see more videos from Nuts Accounting, click or tap on the screen there. If you want to see more videos on Stage 1 tutorial, click or tap on the screen right there. I'll see you in the next video.